center. Nice drop, score!
The Wolverines narrowly missed the NCAA Tournament in 1990, made the 12-team field the following year, and defeated Cornell in a wild 3-game series at Yost. Michigan captured its first CCHA regular season title in 1992 and advanced to the national semifinals. While the Wolverines had reached the status of national power, college hockey's Final Four became the program's albatross.
The atmosphere is electric. The butterflies are in every stomach as action gets underway between what many people believe are the two best hockey teams in the country. Steve Shields has been a workhorse for the Wolverines, collecting all 30 of his team's wins. Garth Snow enters the game unbeaten and leads the nation with a 2.07 goals against average. Maine holds Michigan without a shot for the first 4 minutes, but the Wolverines have scored 6 goals a game this season and beat Snow on their first 2 attempts.
Here come the Wolverines, the shot to score! With these guys early and get into our rhythm and our flow and not have to play from behind. And another score for Michigan. He's going to have to play from behind. The Wolverines jump on top 2-0. Black Bears have not had very good scoring opportunities in this game. Michigan has had much the better about it.
And Michigan not taking penalties.
As I say that, Ingraham gets it in front and scores!
Maine's shortest player draws his team within 1. And early in the second period, their tallest player knots things at 2.
Martin will wind up and take the shot. He scores!
All season long, this is the point in the game where the Bears usually begin to take over. But this is not just an ordinary game, and Michigan is not just your ordinary team.
Now Michigan trying to get their power play in order. In front, a score! Aaron Ward gets Michigan the lead.
Halfway through the game, emotions are running high and tempers are starting to flare. Eric Fenton gets tangled up with Brian Wiseman, but the Black Bears can't afford to lose their concentration. For one of the few times this year, they're behind entering the third period. As the minutes tick by, Sean Walsh implores his players to pick it up a notch. Then, controversy.
Patrice Tardif splits the defense behind the Michigan net, tries to wrap around, he scored! No! Whoa, wait a minute. I thought for sure that thing went in the net.
I think that's a good goal.
Montgomery's arguing the red light did not come on, and that insult to injury, Steve Shields was necktied down to the ice.
I thought that was a goal.
I thought that was clearly a goal.
Watch Tardif here. You be the judge. Let's watch what happens. Tardif, solo rush, little fake there, frees the defense as he freezes number 22. Mike Knuble comes around. Let's watch. Let's see. Right in the net. Out the outside. That's a goal.
That's a goal.
That's a goal.
Referee Harry Amian rules the net has come off its mooring. Maine fans have to wonder if the NCAA jinx has come back to haunt them again. Desperate times call for desperate measures, and Jim Montgomery has one trick left in his bag. The question is, will it work?
Montgomery controls the face, and they score!
This places the pressure squarely on Steve Shields and Garth Snow. They come in with the 2 best goals against averages in the country. Only one of them will win this game.
Trying to break in his Correa. He's behind the defense. He shoots wide. What a play by Correa. Here's Correa again. The defense blocks it all the time, and Shields is there. Steve Shields is playing maybe the game of his life in goal for Michigan. Wow. Tamer, here's Steiber again. The shot, the save by Garth Snow with 10.7 seconds left.
The late heroics send the game into overtime. 3 periods of scintillating hockey have failed to produce a winner. The tension is unbearable as each team tries to deliver the knockout blow. And as fighters will tell you, sometimes you never see the punch.
This is Lieutenant for Maine. The pass down the slot, loose puck in front. Shields a score! Score! Maine wins it.
Ace it and just try to bat it on net, and lucky enough it managed to get in.
The Maine fans have found a new hero, and he's put his team into the championship game for the first time in school history. Their opponent will be the defending champion Lake Superior Lakers, which crushed Boston University in Thursday's other semifinal.
State 4 straight times during the current season, including a shutout win in the CCHA title game just 2 weeks ago. But this time, Lake Superior would win when it counted most, stunning mighty Michigan in sudden death overtime. This game was deadlocked at 4 in overtime when the Lakers pulled out another sudden death win. Brad Wilner's pass from the right point is one-timed in by Rob Valasevic, and Lake Superior State advances to the NCAA semifinals for the 3rd straight year, scoring at 2:31 of the extra session, upsetting Michigan. The final score, Lake State 5 and Michigan 4.
I think a lot of our motivation tonight was that they had beaten us 4 times, and I think a lot of people doubted that we can beat them. You know, I think that personally was one of our goals, to show the hockey world.
Michigan returned to the NCAA championships in 1995, reaching college hockey's version of the Final Four for the 3rd time in 4 years.
The longest tournament game in history. Finally, 100 minutes into this one, the marathon comes to an end.
Woolley tries to head man and has his man. It's Madden. Shoots, save by Blair Allison. What a show here in Providence.
Mark of this 3rd overtime.
In front, scores! Schermerhorn! Schermerhorn for Maine, and the Black Bears win it!
Maine went to the championship game where they lost to Boston University 6-2.
In 1995, the Wolverines suffered a crushing triple overtime loss to Maine in the national semis. It was the school's 3rd Frozen Four appearance in 4 years, with no national title to show for it.
Michigan's run to the CCHA championship helped the Wolverines earn the number 2 seed in the NCAA West Regional, held at Michigan State University's Munn Ice Arena. In the national quarterfinals, U of M would have a rematch with Minnesota, the region's number 3 seed, and the first team ever to win 3 straight WCHA tournament titles. Even though the Gophers had beaten Michigan earlier in the season, goaltender Marty Turco was self-assured entering his 2nd NCAA tournament. Turco's confidence was tested early when Nick Checo's diving shorthanded goal put the Gophers ahead, but the Wolverines got the tying goal on a power play less than 6 minutes later.
This is a big moment for Michigan. Morrison and Bonin hook up on that faceoff. Here's Halko. This is Morrison. Kicked away in front. Quick shot in the goal. Beautifully done. Just like that, McCullough with the goal.
With the Wolverines shorthanded late in the first period, Minnesota regained the lead after a scramble in front of Turco.
The Gophers now that penalty, less than a minute remaining, 52 seconds. Trouble, he'll shoot. Moser, another save made. The red light is on. The red light is on. Somehow it got in.
After being badly outplayed in the first 20 minutes, Michigan needed a shot in the arm. Minnesota took an early penalty in the second period, setting the stage for one of the most memorable goals in college hockey history.
Get it out. LaFleur drags him down. Nothing called, and Michigan still scrambling. It's a goal. Michigan finally somehow got it in the net to tie the game.
I don't believe I saw what I think I just saw, but that puck, the shot came from behind the net.
It looked like it, yes.
Watch this.
Oh, he just reaches around,
Carried it around
in the top.
Put it in.
Unbelievable.
That was an unbelievable goal by Mike Lake. Look crooked leg hold that thing and put it up in the corner. That's something you do in practice. There will not be a highlight reel in the world that goal isn't on somewhere.
With the momentum on Michigan's side, Warren Looning converted a more conventional goal to put the Wolverines on top.
Now Morrison. From in front, Morrison straight in, deflected out in front, rebound and score! Right at the feet of Warren Lewing. It dropped right at his feet. He turned, he had the open net, and he buried it.
The Wolverines' recent disasters in the NCAA Tournament might have returned to the minds of Michigan fans in the third period when the Gophers got the tying goal.
Rockland with it. To center ice it goes. Hankinson cranks it up and scores! The game is tied!
In years past, things might have begun to fall apart for the Michigan hockey team with the score tied late in an NCAA tournament game. Exactly 3 minutes later, however, Michigan's big guns came through at the right time.
They tangle in the corner. We're winding down to 2 minutes left in regulation. Right out in front. The opportunity to goal. Michigan gets the goal. McCulp for the goal, and they have the lead again.
If the Wolverines were looking for a sign that the hockey fates were on their side, they got it on Brian Bonin's shot in the final minute of regulation.
Mosher battling in this near corner. Michigan controlling. Back to center ice. Crowley with it. Tries to start up and can't. Now Bonin with Rasmussen. They've got some numbers. There's a shot. Knocked down in front. Rebound. Just wide. That one almost went in. 10 seconds to play. Michigan wins the faceoff. Into the corner, trying to clear it out. Berg kept it alive. Looning will wrap it around, and Michigan is going to win.
The Wolverines were headed back to the NCAA championships for the 4th time in 5 seasons. Cincinnati's Riverfront Coliseum played host to the 1996 NCAA Division I Hockey Championships, but not without some problems. A worker who was drilling holes for the goal pegs accidentally punctured a pipe, causing both semifinal contests to start 90 minutes late. After Colorado College edged Vermont in double overtime of the first semifinal, the Wolverines went to work on the defending national champions from Boston University. The Terriers had easily beaten a tired Maine team in last year's final and had trounced Michigan in a best-of-3 national quarterfinal series back in 1991. But this night in Cincinnati belonged entirely to the Wolverines. The Wolverines struck quickly after going on a power play early in the first period.
Jason Botterill on right wing pulls up. Trying to center to Brendan Morrison. Morrison in for a slot. The shot, the save. Oh, the shot by Hilton. And another shot by Botterill. Hits the post. Another shot. They score. Brendan Morrison.
Michigan got another goal just 40 seconds later when an unlikely freshman found the back of the net.
Now it's Looning again. Coleman takes him out of the play. Michigan setting up again on the backhand. The puck dribbles off the stick of Preston. Preston in the slot. Oh, there goes Nolan on the score. Preston.
Greg Crozier's second goal in 15 games gave the Wolverines an ominous 2-0 lead, an advantage they held in 2 other national semifinal games in the last 4 years. Michigan peppered BU goaltender Tom Noble with 18 shots in the first 10 minutes of the game. On the other end, Marty Turco was largely untested in the Michigan goal, but came up big when he had to against the nation's leading offensive team.
On their second power play in the last few minutes. Chris Drury in the corner. All centered. Panovo one-timer, and Turco does it again with a left glove save. Wow. Brilliant.
The first period goals were all that Turco would need as he kicked out all 17 Boston University shots in helping the Wolverines overcome the game that had been their finale in 3 of the previous 4 seasons.
5 seconds left. Michigan and Colorado College for the title on Saturday.
That'll be a new national champion. Defending champion BU, beaten by Michigan.
And shut out for the first time since 91, and a bombarding Turco.
The frustrations of past losses in the semifinals were put to rest with the 4-0 shutout of Boston University. Now the Wolverines had to take the next step to secure the school's first national title in 32 years. Michigan had cleared the big hurdle, but this team was far from content. Some felt Michigan's national championship contest with Colorado College might be an easier matchup than the semifinal game with Boston University. The Tigers, however, had lost just 4 games all season and winning the WCHA regular season title, and all 4 losses had come by a single goal. Although Colorado College felt destiny was on its side, these Wolverines were ready to put all of their past postseason disappointments away for good. Going home without the NCAA trophy would still be considered a failure, even after the drubbing of last year's national champion.
McCall sends it right back into the Tigers zone. No score here in the first period. Now Morrison will play it out in front. McCall scores! Well, the magician, Bob McCall, sifting down the slot, 1-0 Wolverines.
The game was mostly a defensive struggle, with the teams combining for just 8 shots on goal in the first period, an all-time championship game low. The Tigers showed they would not roll over, netting a pair of goals just 1 minute and 45 seconds apart in the second period.
Now Schmidt takes it all the way in behind the goal, right-hand corner, out to the point to Alfred. The one-time opportunity didn't work, got a shot on the net. It was deflected just right out in front, and they scored. Geronaldo has tied the hockey game for Colorado College. It's 1-1. Power play goal. Down the corner. It goes to Geronaldo again. Behind the net, there's Schmidt out in front. Turco with a great save, and they score the rebound. Holland Schmidt has given Colorado College a 2-1 lead.
Colorado College had the lead and the momentum, but Michigan's sophomore goaltender kept his team in the game when they needed him most.
That's McNeil over the line. Fed speeds it into the goal. Oh, what a great save by Turco! He just grabbed that out of thin air. Face-off in the Michigan zone.
Michigan came out with more jump in the final period, 20 minutes away from their ultimate goal of a national championship, but still trailing in the game. With a man advantage, it was once again Mike Legg who was Johnny on the spot with a huge game-tying goal.
Now here's Schock for the point, firing, knocked down in front, loose puck, back to Schock again, over to Elko. He fakes the shot, moves in, out in front, they score! Mike Legg outside the hockey game.
Colorado College goaltender Ryan Bach and U of M's Marty Turco both shut the door on their opponents for the last 13 minutes of regulation. Turco got another big break when the Tigers' Eric Rude drew iron with a vicious slap shot in the final minutes of regulation.
Don comes back to the point. They're going to let Rude walk right in and shoot. Hit the goal post. He hit the post. Now Swanson with the puck on the left-hand point. He's going to move right in, and he shot it wide.
There would be no triple overtime disappointment this time around for the Wolverines. Finally, it was Michigan's opponent that got the last unfortunate post shot. With the national title on the line, the country's premier junior and the Wolverines' leading scorer would make no mistake.
Sloan has a poke check off his stick. Nice play by the Tiger defense. Sloan was in the garden spot ready to let her rip. Now Halco into the corner. Holland Schmidt. Oh, it's taken away. Schmidt's pass intercepted. Greg Crozier blocked it from shot. So rebound.
from the point. Halko will chip it in behind the CC goal. Now it hits on a clearing pass. It's the Wolverines out for Crozier. Shooting out in front. Here's the call. Scores and scores! And the Wolverines have won the national championship!
Michigan's 8th national title came 32 years after its 7th one, an unusually long drought for U of M Icers. But perhaps it was the waiting that made this championship such a sweet one. The Wolverines had regained their place atop college hockey, unquestionably the preeminent power in the sport, with 8 national championships, 2 CCHA playoff titles, and 4 NCAA championship appearances in 5 years.
Now 6 seconds left. Monroe can't clear it out. It bounces off to the side of the goal. Now Jock with just 2 seconds, and the game is over. And the Michigan Wolverines have been dethroned as the national champions.
The NCAA Selection Committee made the Wolverines the number 3 seed in the West Regional, putting them against 6-seeded Princeton. The Tigers, playoff champions of the Eastern Collegiate Athletic Conference, were making their first tournament appearance. Michigan did not gain a first-round bye as it had in the last 6 NCAA tournaments, but more importantly, the Wolverines had the luxury of playing at home. The Wolverines rode the crest of that crowd early, outshooting Princeton 15-8 in the opening period. The game remained a scoreless tie, though, until midway through the second period, when Michigan capitalized on a power play.
Left it for Kosick to her right circle, waits to the corner. Kosick on the give and go, back to Fox. Deep slot, shot, score! Wolverines lead 1-0.
The Wolverines almost escaped the second period with the lead, but Princeton's leading scorer, Jeff Halpern, tied it up with 1:22 left to play.
Now back into the Michigan zone. And out in front, Halpern scores! It's all tied here. Oh, a late second period goal. Halpern wide open in the slot, and it's 1-1.
Before Princeton could capitalize on their late goal, Michigan scored one of the strangest goals of the year less than a minute in.
McCall will grab the puck. Out ahead center ice it goes. Loose puck along the wall on the near side. Kosick comes into the zone after it. Kosick waiting. Fed it out in front. Oh, it goes right through it. Scores! What a freak goal that was! Right through the legs of Salvarelli. It's 2-1.
Kosick, who called the goal the luckiest he's ever scored, gave Michigan the lead. But more than 19 minutes of frantic hockey remained. This was familiar territory for the Wolverines, an NCAA tournament game or not. They looked undeterred. The job of protecting the lead fell on goalie Marty Turco and the rest of the Michigan defense.
It comes back to the line for Sheriffs. He'll feed it out to the left circle, and there's 9 seconds left. Halpern shot it. Turco made the save. 5 seconds to go in the game. Play knocked to the corner. 2 seconds. Wolverines get to the puck, and the hockey game is over. The Wolverines have defeated the Princeton Tigers 2-1, and they'll move on to take on North Dakota here tomorrow night.
Waiting in the wings with a first-round bye was North Dakota, the defending national champions. The Fighting Sioux, which held the nation's #1 ranking sporadically throughout the season, had lost just 5 times on the year and led the nation in scoring with over 5 goals per game. After the Yost faithful saw Ohio State gain revenge for its CCHA title game loss by eliminating Michigan State in the regional's first game of the evening, they settled back in their seats just before 10 p.m. to help inspire their Wolverines to follow the Buckeyes to the Final Four in Boston. North Dakota played without regular starting goaltender Carl Gehring, who'd been hampered all week with a groin injury. His replacement was no slouch, though. Backup Aaron Schweitzer led the Fighting Sioux to the championship a year earlier. Schweitzer was staked to an early lead when Matt Henderson scored 8:25 into the game. North Dakota further quieted the partisan crowd late in the period.
Now it's back into the Michigan end. Panzer, watch out. Hochstein shot, scores! Tipped out in front over the shoulder of Turco. And it's 2-0 North Dakota.
Things began to unravel even more for the Wolverines as Matt Herr was penalized for slashing on Hoogstein's goal, and Andrew Merritt got a 5-minute major and a game misconduct for checking from behind with just 13 seconds left in the period. As they headed to their locker room for the intermission, the Wolverines knew they'd be returning down 2-0 and having to fight off a 5-on-3 power play. North Dakota had the perfect opportunity to put the game virtually out of reach with another goal, but for the Michigan faithful, it was time to believe.
Now Michigan trying to get in the passing lane, and they do. Behrensweig knocked it away off to the side of the goal. Turco made one save, two saves. What a dandy that was with the glove hand. Oh boy! And down goes Herr. He shoots, he scores! What a great play!
Before the frenzied crowd could barely settle down, the Wolverines appeared to have tied the game on another shorthanded goal by Bobby Hayes. It was for naught, as the referee had blown the play dead because of a Michigan player in the crease. It was only the beginning of a penalty-filled period that was frustrating for both teams. North Dakota found a way to momentarily stem the tide just after the 5-minute mark.
Down into the North Dakota zone, we're playing at equal strength for another 30 seconds. Then North Dakota goes back in the power play as they come over the line. Long shot, score! That angle shot, Marty missed that one. And it's 3-1 North Dakota.
Michigan again had an answer 3 minutes later as Bill McCult's 32nd goal of the year again made it a one-goal game.
Here's Herr over the right-hand side. On the circle to Cossack low. He's trying to bring it out in front. Here comes McCult down the east. Scores! Right down the slot, and he blasts it home. Nice feed by Cossack. McCult, really good move, controlling the bouncing puck and got the shot past Schweitzer. Wolverines connect on the power play. We're back to a one-goal game.
So unnerved by the way the Wolverines had stormed out in the second period, North Dakota coach Dean Blaze called his timeout after McCult's goal to try and settle his team down. Dale Rominski appeared to have scored the equalizer late in the period, but again, the goal was waved off, this time on an interference penalty. The score stood at 3-2 after 2, with another late-game narrow-margin test ahead for the Wolverines. This time, the Wolverines entered the period with a power play, and they did not waste it.
Now Cossack on the circle, low to Herr out in front. He waits, he shoots, and it was blocked. Now Cossack off to the side of the goal. Now Crozier, Cossack's shot. That's stopped. Here's Herr with a backhand shot over the top of the net. Out in front, they score! Greg Crozier has tied the hockey game. They were all over him that time. Alan Crozier slams it home, and it's 3-3 early here in the third period.
The teams raged on for 16 frantic minutes when Michigan took advantage of an odd-man rush.
Wolverines can't get it out. The Sioux poke at it. Michigan pokes it out center ice. Here's a chance for him now. Herr and Hayes over the line. Hayes setting up. Shoots. Goal! And Hayes has given Michigan a 4-3 lead. Now came out in front. Loose puck. Oh, Turco with a save. Now North Dakota brings it out in front again, and Wolverines take it away and tip it down the ice. And there's 10 seconds to go. 8 seconds to go. And we've got to go to Boston.
In what many have called one of the greatest days of hockey at Yost, Michigan was on their way to a fourth straight Final Four. Michigan's opponent in the national semifinal was New Hampshire. Like North Dakota, the Wildcats boasted several high-scoring forwards that would test the Wolverines.
Out to the point he goes. Lipowitz didn't take the shot. Now it came out to the slot. Wide open in front. What a save by Turco! He robbed Nolan right on the front. Nolan right out front. A beautiful setup by New Hampshire. Marty Turco with the first biggie of this hockey game. Now the Wildcats are buzzing here on the power play. And there's 1:05 left in it as it goes to Mowers in behind the goal. Krog now to Filipowicz, and he hit the goal post. Now it came on the near side. Michigan tips it down the ice, and here's Berenswag. Over the line, shoots, rebound, score! Bubba Berenswag!
Berenswag wasn't done scoring on the day, notching a power play goal 7:43 into the second period.
Now Hayes over on the right side, over the line. Down to the corner, still controls, trying to avoid a check as he's leaned upon. But he'll control the puck, back out for Berenswag. He waits, he shoots, scores! Michigan with a power play goal!
Moments later, freshman Jeff Koch, playing against the team from his home state, extended the Michigan lead to 3.
Now the Wildcats are trying to set up. Michigan's got them covered as Souza was trying to set up for a wrister out in the slot. Now Koch the other way. Jeff Koch, and he scores! Jeff Koch on a backhand shot! And say hello to your former statesman. It's 3-0.
UNH didn't get many shots, but the 19 the Wildcats did get were often excellent scoring chances. Marty Turco proved up to the test as he continued his stellar play, edging closer to career win number 126.
As a long pass was knocked away, Matsko was trying to go for the home run that time. Now back is Mowers, and over the line, here's a shot. Marty Turco has it again! Marty Turco! I can't believe it. What a save that was!
Matt Herr provided the capper late in the third period.
3 minutes left in the hockey game as McCall's tied up by Krog deep in the zone, and coming back is Fox to grab it. Rink wide pass now, out center right, Langfeld sends it into the left-hand corner. Now here's a centering pass, he scores! That's Matt Herr, and that'll sew it up. 4-0 on the power play goal, and Michigan is headed to the national championship game.
Just as the Wolverines did in beating Boston University in their '96 title run, U of M did in the Wildcats 4-zip to earn the right to play for the 1998 NCAA Championship. The Turco shutout was the 15th of his career. U of M would be playing for its second title in 3 years. The earlier loss of defenseman Sean Peach made this run to the finals even more remarkable. Assistant coach Billy Powers coordinated the defensive shifts from the bench with Mike Van Ryn, Dave Hunsaker, Bubba Berenswag, and Chris Fox playing nearly 30 Ironman minutes apiece in each tournament game. The Eagles, who entered the contest with a 14-game unbeaten streak, delighted their fans by taking the lead 4 minutes into the game.
Koch was turned around just inside the line, and here's a chance for Caulfield coming over the line with a shot, and he scores! Caulfield along the ice beats Turco, and the Eagles have taken a 1-0 lead.
Scott Clemenson, a freshman playing in goal for BC, wouldn't get his first real test of the game until a few minutes later. A 3-man rush gave Dale Rominski an open look for a shot, but Clemenson turned him away. That wouldn't be his last great save of the evening. Early in the second period, U of M would get even closer to a goal as Jeff Koch walked in on Clemenson and fired a shot underneath his arm. It rang off the goal post. It seemed like Michigan would never score. BC's lead finally disappeared 7:42 into the second period.
Coming down was Berenswag to try to keep it into the zone and keep it alive for the Wolverines. Out in front of the quick shot, and Clemenson made the save, and they score! Mark Kopic has tied the hockey game at a goal apiece.
With 1:22 remaining in the period, the Eagles got some traffic in front of Marty Turco, and they were rewarded.
Now Farkas in behind the goal again, and Belfay played it out. Here's Allen, fakes the shot, and now he shoots off to the side of the goal, and they score on the rebound.
Down 2-1 at the end of 2, Michigan continued to follow the script from 1996, and just like 96, Marty Turco kept the Wolverines within a goal.
Now it's the grab again. Here's Marty Reisner playing it out center ice, and here's a breakaway now for Powers going one-on-one with Turco. And what a play by Marty Turco to come out the poke check it away. And equally as well was the Berenswag, who came back to hook him a bit.
On the offensive end, Michigan's most potent offensive threats, McCult and Herr, were denied goals in the title game just like BC's top scorers. As the final minutes of the game drew closer, U of M knew the Eagles would be able to start lining up 4 men on the blue line to thwart any offensive movement. Just when the Wolverines absolutely had to have a goal, freshman Mark Kosick found himself in the right place at the right time.
It lay right there. Kosick comes over with Matt Herr. The trailer is Fox. He tried to hit her with a pass, and it went to the corner. Now Matt Herr back out for Fox, moving in. He shoots, and he hit one of the BC players who slid down. Now out in front again, deflected right on, and Kosick scores! He's tied the hockey game with 6:12 to go in the third. Mark Kosick, second goal of the game, and it's tied at 2.
The final minutes of regulation ticked away, and U of M found itself tied going into overtime in the title game, just like in 1996. Assistant coach Mel Pearson made note of what the Wolverines did in 1996 and what they were destined to do in 1998 by writing the words "Deja Vu" on the locker room board. The situation was nothing new to this bunch of players. BC came out buzzing early, but the Wolverines remained calm. Michigan had played an entire season of tight games. The Eagles came within inches twice of winning their first championship since 1949.
Now back over the line is O'Leary trying to move in. O'Leary in front, and what a save by Barney Turco! What a dandy that was. Saved the game as the puck comes back out and outside the line. That's an offside call, and Boston College has to clear the zone, and there's the money man at it again. Buckley in the BC zone, and the Eagles will come out center ice with it. Here's Farkas trying to pull the trigger. Now he does! Hit the side of the net with it. And Kosick going after him, took him down to the corner.
The Wolverines somehow survived those chances and began generating some of their own. But as the overtime dragged on, no one could feel the fatigue as much as U of M's 4 Iron Horsemen on defense. After Boston College's last shot on Turco, 17-18 into the overtime session.
And Leppard there to spend on a chance from in front. Here's Fox now. Fox carries deep. Crowd roaring on every pass. Shot! Score! It's Michigan! It's Josh Langfeld! And the Wolverines are the national champions! The freshman scores the title-winning goal! And Michigan will go back to Ann Arbor as national champions!
Down the cycle, back for Fox, moving in, doesn't shoot. Now he takes it low down to the left-hand corner. Nobody watching Chris Fox. Fox in behind the goal. Now he hands it off. Langfeld shot, he's good! They done it again! Michigan has won the national championship!
Turco's goaltending earned him Most Outstanding Player honors. Kosick, Langfeld, and Berensweig joined him on the All-Tournament team. The individual recognition was secondary to U of M, for as a team, the Wolverines had just won the school's 9th national title. A year earlier, Brendan Morrison would have gladly traded in his Hobey Baker Award for the glory of a championship. Although Michigan's 1998 title could not totally erase the disappointment of '97, winning the championship with this team left Berenson with bittersweet satisfaction. This 9th championship served notice to the college hockey world that the Wolverines were still the top program of the '90s.